Welcome to the Wellness as a Way of Life podcast, your one-stop, all-encompassing source of wellness, knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, and motivation. Here we teach you why not all wellness trends are for you, how to figure out which ones are, how to best adapt them for your personal wellness toolbox, and how ultimately to integrate your wellness practices so fully that they become to feel like brushing your teeth. A foundational part of who you are and not a check mark on your to-do list. Here we know that in order for health and wellness to be sustainable, we need a less is more approach, leaving the information overload and tips overwhelm behind. I'm your host, Megan Swan, creator of the Wellness as a Way of Life course and the Sustainable Integrated Wellness Approach. I have more than a decade of experience in the wellness industry and on my own personal wellness journey, learning how to tune into and trust my intuition and drown out all the noise. As a certified IIN health coach, detoxification expert, plant-based chef, yoga teacher, and coach, I will help you distill down the information overload and feel more confident and at ease in your own skin again. So let's swan dive in. Welcome back to Wellness as a Way of Life. This week on the podcast, we are doing an integrated physical wellness spotlight on how to rewrite your relationship with your moon cycle. Now, obviously, this is definitely for the ladies, but it is also for really all gender expansive people and gentlemen who have women with female cycles in their life, be it daughter, mother, partner, what have you, in order to rewrite this whole story as a culture, because the stories that I grew up with, I did not come to on my own. They were passed down from multiple lineages of mothers, and I was inundated with other messages through, women's magazines and just the culture in general that, it was not something magical. In fact, when I first started menstruating, the real message that I think my, female loved ones wanted me to feel was, it's normal, don't feel bad, it's okay. And I think those are important messages, but at no point did anyone give me an inspiring message such as, oh my goodness, isn't it magical? This is the most powerful aspect of the planet. You now have the ability to create life. You are connected with the moon. How incredible. There was no magic, I think because that would have been considered, witchery to invite the magic and empowering aspects of bleeding on a monthly cycle and all that it entails. So I highly recommend that you just do this. It could be a thought exercise. It could be a journal exercise. It could be a healing in community exercise, maybe with the female lineage in your family or some girlfriends, or just in any family. I know it is on my radar and very important to me that my sons get a different education than I did around what is menstruation, why is it important, why is it magical, how cool, and really not being given any messages of ick, that it's unhygienic, that it's something that a woman needs to hide or feel bad about, or, really all the messaging around PMS as well. And the BS messaging that I would argue really paints more of a negative picture than it needs to. Sure, a lot of women have challenging symptoms as they are moving through their cycle. That is a whole other conversation. I think I might do a whole podcast on ways to shift your diet if that is the case. There are so many aspects pointing to it, but I know eating the average American diet is certainly not helping. And I've had many, many clients over the years completely shift and change their relationship to PMS to it almost being non-existent just by cutting out some foods that we perceive as, or we grew up in the 90s and 80s understanding were quote unquote healthy, dairy amongst them. So I will walk you through some journal prompts or some thought experiment, rabbit holes that you can take yourself down. So one, just ask yourself, what was the first thing that you heard or understood? Like maybe it was a feeling more than something that was said to you when you either first encountered this understanding that women menstruate and bleed, or it was happening to you. Was there any sort of ritual or magic or, presentation that this was a way that all women were connected? Was there any sort of, history, tradition, lineage presented, or was it all very medicine 2.0? Here's how you make sure that you stay clean. Here's how you make sure no one ever sees a tampon in public place, or this is how you make sure that everyone else around you doesn't feel uncomfortable when this is happening. Those kind of messages. And who did you get these messages from? Maybe you didn't have a caregiver that was giving them. Maybe you were getting it all from a magazine. Probably, I know in my generation, it's not like we were Googling these things. That didn't exist yet. I was learning things from magazine, YM magazine, 17 magazine. And I'm not saying everything I read in those magazines was false or a negative influence. It was just sort of parroting the culture. And the culture was hygiene is key, that, menstrual blood is dirty. I definitely didn't get that it was evil, but it wasn't desirable to even have it like on your fingers, let alone, potentially do a really cool ritual with it, or just understand it and understand your body on a deeper level and tune in the different parts of your cycle, its different shades of red, what's going on, understanding the nuances. All of these things are so powerful. And from there, ask yourself, what were the conversations that were had over the years in terms of the assumptions made about women and PMS, conversations maybe had in your professional work environment, things that you have tolerated, sustained, put up with, absorbed, digested, even though you didn't want to maybe, over the years, that also paint your overall sensation about you and your body and this capacity that we have, our womb space. Were you ever invited to tune in to the power, to the intelligence of your womb at that time of the month, and tune in and see what messages are you maybe getting, what instincts, what's being communicated, what's your deeper desire and intention that might be coming through at this time. And then also honoring the cycle, honoring that your energy shifts, and that's okay. I actually accidentally twice booked myself my first half marathon and then my first marathon the day I was starting my period. Partly because I really wasn't paying that close attention, and partly because I was a newbie as an athlete in that sense, and it never occurred to me to line these things up on a calendar to make sure that there wasn't necessarily a bad time of the month, so to speak. But having said that, I highly recommend Roar by Dr. Stacy Sims. She really gives a lot of female specific information around athleticism. And I personally, and I know I'm not alone, there's a lot of women that you actually have a massive upkick of energy at the beginning of your bleed, and then it drops off and maybe you want to cocoon and like not talk to anybody and all these other sort of more stereotypical PMS realities. But the point is, there is no one size fits all. It's all about getting to know your own personal cycle, loving it, accepting it. I would find the magic in it. What are some beautiful rituals? Maybe you want to bring in a journaling practice, seed cycling. Find yourself an app. I personally love Stardust. I don't rep for them or whatever, but it's really witchy and sort of spiritual, but also fun and funny. And just start tracking these things for yourself to have more information. It's like this beautiful blueprint and map you've been given of your connection to the universe, to the moon, to the cycles of nature. So I'll leave it at that. Reframing starts with understanding, where did your current identity come from? How did it get shaped? What are some ways that you maybe want to rewrite that? What are some tools you can invite into your life to rewrite it and feel more empowered, magical, and incredible, as you should do as one part of the population that has the capability of birthing new life, and if not new life, creating things from our womb space, be them ideas, projects, art, or life. Bye for now. Big love. Optimal Wellness. Signing off. Thanks again for listening to the Wellness as a Way of Life podcast. As you know, we love bringing you valuable content that helps you improve your wellness. This podcast is sponsored by the Wellness as a Way of Life course. The course experience is the ultimate and only wellness course you need to have in your back pocket. If you're looking to feel more confident and at ease in your own skin with consistent energy, this course is the perfect solution for you. And the best part, as a listener of the podcast, you'll get an exclusive discount on the course. Just use the promo code WELL4LIFE at checkout to receive 10% off of your purchase. That's capital W, ELL, the number 4, capital LIFE at checkout. 8 incredible women have taken the Wellness as a Way of Life course and can attest to the massive value it provides. Consisting of 60 plus audio lessons, a dozen videos, the Wellness as a Way of Life workbook, and the Wellness as a Way of Life daily tracker, menus, playlists, readings, and the Megan Swan Wellness Resource Vault. It makes it the most comprehensive, less is more, holistic wellness course on the market. So if you're ready to take your wellness skills to the next level, head over to the website linked here in the show notes and enroll in the Wellness as a Way of Life course today. Hey there, one last thing I wanted to share with you. If you're enjoying this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you could rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. It really does help us grow the show, and this being so important to me to get this message out to more women to help them optimize their wellness and ultimately their lives. This is my mission, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could support the podcast by rating and reviewing. Thanks in advance. Have a good one.